So this video is in response to Meet Kevin's rant the other day, essentially taking Zillow and Redfin's back and surprisingly bullying a real estate agent on his theory that it's possible that iBuyers like Zillow and Redfin and Opendoor are manipulating markets. Hold up, institutions manipulating markets? That's never happened before. First off, I want to say I really like Meet Kevin. I watch most of his content, and for someone who's so young to achieve as much as he has at this point in his life is just absolutely amazing. I mean, this gentleman puts out so much quality content, sells real estate, he's running for office for the state of California. I mean, my God, what he's doing is absolutely amazing. Kevin, hats off to you, my friend. Absolutely. But at the same time, I'm gonna have to take a few shots at you right now, because I think when you run for office, rule number one is that you should be announcing your conflicts of interest as they arise. And I'm fairly certain that Kevin owns both Zillow and Redfin stock.
So Lemonade's got the biggest unrealized.
The iBuyer platforms, the ones that he's hashtagging in his video. So yeah, I think you got to take what he's saying with a grain of salt. And secondly, I wasn't really a big fan of how pompous he was about his level of production and putting down another real estate agent who sold over 50 homes.
Sean, you can look this up, over the last 11 years has had 51 sales. However, in the 8 years that I was actively selling real estate, I sold almost 5 times this, 240 homes in 8 years. In an area that's 3 times as expensive as this particular area.
I mean, I think people need to know that even crappy agents can get their broker's license.
This nonsense conspiracy. I want to start by saying this. I am a real estate broker.
So that means nothing to me. And true brokers, they don't put down other real estate agents. So anyways, as much as I respect Kevin, here's where I'm going to crack this wide open. You see, he either doesn't have a clue what he's talking about, or he's taking sides because of that conflict of interest that I was telling you about at the beginning of this video. You see, Zillow owns .loop, the online filing e-signature service that they disclose on their website services millions of real estate agents and clients throughout the country. Do you think that Zillow bought this company because they were interested in e-signature technology? No. They wanted the information contained in the documents being signed. Don't believe me? Well, this was pretty evident when they quickly changed their minds about the document privacy guarantee that they were selling us on, something that you now have to opt out of or into, otherwise Zillow has access to all the contract information dating back to 2016. They know which properties are going into contract, for how much, and a smart investor would use this information to gain an advantage, wouldn't you? So I'm fairly certain that a publicly traded technology company would want to use this information. And then it gets way worse though. When you see what else they have access to because of .loop, well, let's go into it really quick. Non-personally identifiable information such as occupation, language, zip code, area code, unique device identified, location, and time zone. And according to the National Association of Realtors, .loop also collects IP addresses, browser data, and how users interact with the website. Meaning they know more than you and myself and the homeowners that they're preying upon. If we had the same data, we could see the specific locations that A, are selling at a discount versus the amount of inventory available, and B, in a market that's ascending at a high rate. Don't you think that that's valuable information? I know this because I've done it manually. Kind of by accident, I personally flipped 4 homes on the same block. And each time I bought and sold one, I gave myself a better comp. I can only imagine if I had the financial resources to buy every single home in the block, and if I had the insight via .loop of all the other contracts that are being signed, that is cheating. So when you say that this man's theory is laughable, I ain't laughing. This is bad.
This conspiracy is laughable. It's a joke.
Think of it this way. If the New England Patriots bought the NFL surveillance system, claiming it wouldn't use any of the footage to gain an advantage over its opponents, would we believe them for 1 second? Of course not. And then let's say that they change the "we might not use the footage" to "you have to opt out of us using the footage," and then all of a sudden they started winning. And then they announced that they're going to get in the business of purchasing tickets for profit. And then to think that the idea that they'll find a way to artificially inflate the prices of tickets would be laughable. I mean, come on. Ultimately, this type of scenario would be bad for the NFL. It would be bad for the fans. And this is what's happening in real estate. I know at this point in time, it's a smaller scale, so you can look at it and say it's only a small percentage.
I understand it's easy to bag on corporations, but look, right now, corporate homebuyers make up maybe 15% of homebuyers.
You can't say that it's not being targeted in specific areas because it can be amplified if they take this knowledge and all of their money and start targeting specific locations. Your video is assuming that Zillow isn't targeting specific areas and that they're simply making blanket offers across the country. That's simply not plausible for a publicly traded company that has the resources that Zillow has. I mean, I work in communities that have 200 homes and they're all about 5 feet away from each other. I've sold 4 homes next to each other. So to suggest that it's not possible for a technology company backed by institutional finances whom have bought large portions of buyers and sellers' data to exploit the advantage that they have, that is just foolish. And of course it's possible. Dude, it's probable.
I don't see Zillow buying 30 homes in one neighborhood, let alone in one city. Okay.
Institutions, greed, taking advantage of people. What else do I have to say here? Now, at the beginning of this video, I let you know I have a lot of respect for Kevin. I absolutely do. And I actually want to work with him on this because, somebody like himself who is working for the people, he's running for office. This is a good opportunity to show you're about people. You're not about just institutions, the ones that are going to be doing campaign finance for people that can be bought out. I would love to help you on this situation because when you think about it, there's only one logical outcome here. They're going to price fix. They're going to use the information that they have to take advantage of people. Even if you can't draw a conclusion to it just yet, we're talking about just Zillow in this scenario. When you put in Redfin and Open Door, they're all competing with each other, and at the end of the day, when you say oh, they're not even making much money in real estate, doesn't mean that they're not inflating the values. And it doesn't mean that that won't be their intention. At the end of the day, if they don't make money on these properties, it doesn't matter so much because they're selling data, right? They're selling leads to real estate agents. They're buying people's houses with the ability to sell them and take fees and commissions. Sellers aren't even really saving that much money, but they're being preyed upon because people have their information, they have all of the data, and they're cutting out the competition. Don't you understand that this is exactly why antitrust laws exist? Because of this type of stuff that's going on. So first off, while this guy may not be 100% correct, what I'm saying is what he is telling people is plausible. It's taking place. And for people to come out like yourself and say that it's laughable and try to put the guy down, well, I think that's pretty unfortunate for somebody in your position who has the opportunity to help people rather than hurt them. At the end of the day, I don't think that companies and corporations should be buying and selling residential real estate. People need a place to live. This is basically a commodity. It's almost like saying, what's next? Are we going to allow companies to get into water so they can drain our lakes? That's already happened. Peace out, man. Take care.